Welcome back guys. In this video tutorial of 3ds Max, we are going to bitalize a T-port with particle flows. So we will be passing through with a couple of steps to complete this tutorial. So all of us, let's create a T-port with couple of segments. Maximize your perspective viewport, and being in the create panel, then in the geometry, choose a T-port. Just draw a T-port in your viewport. Now go back to the modify panel. In the parameters, leave the segments to 4, and the size doesn't matter for this video tutorial. You can take any sort of size that you like. Next we need to add a plane. So go back to your top viewport. Once again go to the create, and being in the geometry, choose a plane. Draw a plane. We are going to use that plane as a floor. Set the plane something like that. Okay. Now go back to your perspective viewport and just set your view. Okay, next we need to add a photometric light with ray trace shadow and make its shape of sphere. So go to the lights and select the photometric in the drop down list and just choose target light and draw him something like that. Okay, after drawing the light, just select your light and move him to the upward, to the near something to your object. Okay, that's good. You can adjust the light like me. Because we need some accurate light adjustment for this tutorial. Okay, with the light selected, go to the modify panel, and in the lights parameters, check the shadows on, and in the drop down list, choose ray trace shadows. Okay, now scroll down to the shape panel and just select a sphere and just increase a couple of steps the radius of the light. Couple of steps more. Okay, that's good. Okay, now open the particle view. Press 6 on your keyboard to do that. Simply just press 6 on your keyboard, and you can see a particle view dialog box will be appear. Now we will draw some elements in that. Let's fix the size of this board. Okay, and drag out the workspace empty flow element. Just select and drag it here, and there we have. Next we need a birth operator, so select the birth and simply drag him to the panel. There we have our birth element. Okay, now we need to link it to the PF source element. Now click and drag to link it. So it's very easy to link them. Just click on this little sphere and drag it to the PF source, and there we have it. As you move them, you can see the both are now linked to each others, and that's we want. The birth operator is used to emit particles to control their amount. So click on the operator itself. Then choose the amount of the particle. Now click on that birth element itself, and in the birth parameters, in the amount panel, just type 1140 and hit enter. Okay, now we need a position object. So now drag the position object operator into the birth. Select the position object and drag it to the birth. Make sure you are putting the position object under the birth. Okay, now click on it to open its setting. Scroll down and click on the position, and in the parameters of the position object, then under the emitter object, click on add, then click on your T-port. Just scroll down, click on this add button, make this board aside to simply and easily select your T-port. Now with this button selected, click on your T-port, and there we have it. As you can see in the emitter objects, our T-port 01 object is selected. So if your object is there in the list, so that means you had correctly selected your object to the emitter. Now these operators lets you choose that object will be the emitter, the particles. Since we choose the T-port, it means that it will be the object to emit the particles. Okay, here is one thing I want to show you, just to minimize your particle flows dialog. And now if you move your slider, let's move our slider, you might notice that many plus signs are appearing all over the T-port. Those are the particles. Okay, maximize our particle flows chart. Okay, now we need a speed by surface operator. So drag the speed by surface operator into the stack and click it to open its setting. Simply select your speed by surface and drag it to the event 01 board. Now click on that, speed by surface, and to work with its parameters. Now in the speed panel, set its speed to 1 and hit enter, and under the surface click on add, just click on that add button, then go and click on your T-port. Okay, as you can see, once again in the list we have our T-port 01 object, so that means we had added our T-port to the surface geometry. Now what this operator do, this operator makes the particle move with a certain speed parallel to its surface. We added this operator to add some diversity to the distance between each particle instead of all being on the same level. Okay, now add the shape operator to the stack. Go there and just select shape and add it in the event 1 stack. Make sure your shape operator is under the speed by surface operator. Click on the shape to open its setting. Now click on 3D, then go in the drop down list. You can choose any object you want. In my case, I'm going to choose cube. Now if we talk about the shapes parameter, so this operator allows you to change the shape of the particles and their size. You can choose whether shape you want. Okay, now go to the size, and in the size panel just type 6.5 and hit enter. Okay, after that we need our display operator under the shape. So select your display operator and drag it under the shape. Now here one thing you might note, make sure you are just dragging it under the shape, not dragging it over the shape. At that point I want to give you a tip. If you want to choose your own custom shapes for the particles, instead of adding the shape operator, add the shape instance operator, then click on note and click on the objects you want your particles to have. Now to add a material to your particles, add the material static operator to your stack and click on it to open its setting. So go down in the list and choose material static and drag it above the display. Now make sure you're displaying it above the display operator. Okay, now click on the material static and in the parameters. Okay, now press M on your keyboard to bring out the material editor. Make him an aside, and with the material static operator selected, in the material static parameters, click on this none button and choose your material. Or if there is another way, just drag any material you had set it for that to this none button, and in the instance dialog box just choose copy or whatever you want. Also choose in instance method 2. I'm going to choose a copy. Okay, now close your material editor. Okay, now click on the display operator to open its settings.